Hello, welcome to the Grow Your Wealthy Mindset podcast, where it is all about helping amazing physicians just like you create a wealthy life free from burnout and with the financial security to practice medicine on your own terms. I'm your host, Dr. Elisa Zhang. This week, we have another replay episode for you. While I've been selecting which episodes to replay, it's interesting to see which episodes need updating, which episodes contain thoughts that I've somewhat changed since I recorded that episode, and which episodes need no change at all. This episode is one that I felt like needed no changes, and it's perfect just the way it is. I hope you enjoy the replay for episode 31, Growth versus Fixed Mindset. Hello, and welcome back to the Grow Your Wealthy Mindset podcast. So far, this podcast has had a lot of episodes to help people increase their financial literacy. While financial literacy is helpful to having a wealthy mindset, being knowledgeable about finances and investing is only part of the picture. Having a wealthy mindset is also about having a growth mindset. What do I mean by a growth mindset? Someone with a growth mindset believes intelligence and talent can be developed and improved with time and effort. On the opposite end, a fixed mindset believes that intelligence and talent are innate and fixed. Here are some examples. A fixed mindset thinks, I don't know how to do that. A growth mindset thinks, I don't know how to do that yet, but I can learn. A fixed mindset thinks, I've never been good at math. There's no way I can learn about personal finances. A growth mindset thinks, I can learn and practice the skills I need so I can manage my own personal finances. A fixed mindset thinks mistakes are failures. A growth mindset thinks mistakes are learning opportunities. A fixed mindset thinks of feedback as criticism. A growth mindset thinks of feedback as a way to improve. A fixed mindset avoids challenges to prevent the possibility of failure. A growth mindset embraces challenges as an opportunity and risks possible failure. A fixed mindset sees other people's success as a risk to themselves or views it with jealousy. A growth mindset sees other people's successes as an inspiration and an example of what's possible. Someone with a growth mindset believes that they can gain the skills and knowledge necessary to succeed. Someone with a growth mindset doesn't allow their past to define their future. A growth mindset knows that there is always more to learn. Someone with a growth mindset doesn't let pride stop them from asking for help. Someone with a growth mindset looks at their weaknesses as something they can improve. The concept of growth and fixed mindsets was coined by psychologist Carol Dweck in her 2006 book, Mindset, The New Psychology of Success. In her book, she writes, quote, when you enter a mindset, you enter a new world. In one world, the world of fixed traits, success is about proving you're smart or talented, validating yourself. In the other, the world of changing qualities, it's about stretching yourself to learn something new, developing yourself. In one world, failure is about having a setback, getting a bad grade, losing a tournament, getting fired, getting rejected. It means that you're not smart or talented. In the other world, failure is about not growing, not reaching for things you value. It means you're not fulfilling your potential. In one world, effort is a bad thing. It, like failure, means that you're not smart or talented. If you were, you wouldn't need effort. In the other world, effort is what makes you smart and talented. You have a choice. Mindsets are just beliefs. They're powerful beliefs, but they're just something in your mind, and you can change your mind. End quote. I just thought that that was so beautifully written. There are research studies that look at what the impact is of mindset. Studies have indicated that students who endorse a growth mindset rather than a fixed mindset have higher grades in mathematics, languages, and grade point average, or GPA. researchers have also used neuroimaging to find a link between growth mindset and activation of two key areas of the brain. The first is the anterior cingulate cortex, which is involved in learning and control. And the second is the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, which is involved in error monitoring and behavioral adaptation. A growth mindset appears to be linked to higher motivation and error correction. It's also associated with lower activation in response to negative feedback. In growth-minded people, the brain is more active when a person is told how they can improve, like when they're given tips on how to do better for next time. In contrast, the brain of those with a fixed mindset is active when the person is being given information about their performance, like the results of a test. Growth mindset brains appear to focus more on process, whereas fixed mindset brains appear to focus more on the results. The great thing about our brains is that there is neuroplasticity. Our brains continue to develop and change. While neuroplasticity is higher in children, it does continue through adulthood. Neurons in the brain can develop new connections and strengthen or weaken existing connections. Our brains are built to grow and learn. I really think our brains are fascinating. It's one of the reasons why I study neuroscience and actually got my PhD in neuroscience. So, how can someone develop a growth mindset? The first step is to pay attention to our thoughts. What is that inner voice in your mind constantly saying? A negative thought acts against a growth mindset. When you find yourself having a negative thought about yourself, try to flip that thought. Turn, I'm not good at managing money, to, I can get better at managing my money. You can also try adding yet at the end of a negative thought. I don't know how to invest becomes, I don't know how to invest yet. When you find yourself falling back on a fixed mindset, try turning the thought into a question. Turn a I can't to how can I? I can't get out of clinic on time to how do I get out of clinic on time? I don't have money to invest can become how do I find money to invest? Whenever you have the thought or feeling of failure, take a step back and find out what's the lesson that you learned. Identify what didn't work. Try to create a plan for what to try next. We can also work on consciously thinking thoughts that foster a growth mindset. Some thoughts I'd like to suggest for you include, when I struggle with something, it means I'm learning. I can do hard things. I can learn any skill with effort and practice. I only fail when I stop trying. I'm willing to embrace discomfort to move forward. I have everything I need to have everything I want. I can accomplish anything that I put my mind to. These are some of the intentional thoughts that I actually practice thinking each day. You also want to reward yourself for the effort that you put into the process instead of always focusing on the result. One study by Dr. Carol Dweck showed that rewarding effort over results on math games improved performance. You can also try to set process goals instead of results goals, like I'm going to eat healthy every day as a goal instead of I'm going to lose 20 pounds. I know this goes against the idea of making your goals SMART goals, meaning specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. But sometimes SMART goals are just not really the way to go. I know sometimes when I set a SMART goal and it gets to that time point and I haven't reached that end result, then I just feel bad about it. But if I actually just focus on the fact that I keep working towards the goal and it's going to happen at some point, that's much more motivating. I think weight loss is a great example of this. When your goal is to lose a specific number of pounds, instead of feeling good in your body or celebrating the fact that you're exercising every day, then every time you get on the scale and you look at those results, that can be demotivating when you don't see the weight coming off. But if you really focus on the fact that every day you're eating healthy, nutritious food, that you're doing physical activity every day, then that can actually really help motivate you to continue those habits. And if you continue those habits, the results are going to come eventually. Another thing you can do to help with a growth mindset is just reading books or taking courses to learn new skills. If you're a procrastinator, Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy is a great book to read. If you want to try working on new habits, try reading Atomic Habits by James Clear. Who, Not How by Dan Sullivan is another great book for developing a growth mindset. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill is a classic book that really focuses on growth money mindset. You also want to surround yourself with other people who have a growth mindset. That will help you foster your own growth mindset. And the last thing I want to mention is have some self-compassion when you find yourself falling back onto that fixed mindset. Our primitive brains were built to protect us. Our primitive brains are built to seek pleasure, avoid pain, and do as little as possible. As humans, we've developed a prefrontal cortex, which can tell our primitive brains, I know you're trying to protect me, but I'm going to do this anyways. And that's where we really have agency to make real change in our lives. Tony Robbins has been credited to say that success is 80% mindset and 20% skill. So let's work on growing that wealthy mindset. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of the Grow Your Wealthy Mindset podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love it if you could share it with your friends and colleagues. And now for the disclaimer. I am not a certified financial planner, accountant, or attorney, and nothing I say should be construed as professional investment, tax, or legal advice. This show is primarily for your education and entertainment. I am a physician, but I'm probably not your physician. So if you need any medical advice, please contact your own physician. Thank you.